Hi everybody, I'm back. I am going to continue with my lecture. We'll call this part 5B from yesterday. Uh, Yesterday was 5A. As you can see, yesterday we dealt with theme 1 of 3 and 2 of 3, and that had to do with more on basics, which is recording a number once and only once so you can use it in multiple operations everywhere in this very massive spreadsheet. And from there, and by the way, that not only is more efficient, but it also helps you avoid making a mistake by typing the same number in more than one place, okay? So I did demonstrate that for you, and I demonstrated what I refer to here as the third dimension, multiple pages or sheets. If you look down here in the lower left, I said, okay, instead of just one page, up, down, left, right, we're going to look at another dimension, in or out. Okay, and that is done with pages, and I created one using that 7.7 million you see up there in blue. I used it in an accounting report, and yesterday I had fewer numbers. Today I've added a few more numbers to this accounting report because we may play with that later on. I showed you in a finance report, see how I'm clicking on the tabs there? There's that same blue number, and I used it for a different purpose in finance to show what projections might look like in the future. And finally, next tab, I used it in a sales report. Okay, there's my 7.7 million to show you where in the country geographically my sales originated. Okay, go back to master. Okay, so that's where we left off. The last theme in this fifth video series, and by the way, we have another proficiency test coming our way shortly as we move toward our first badge, is going to be on the basics of sorting. Up until now, we've used Excel to very efficiently and in a very attractive manner for presentation, do a lot of the work for us with mathematics and with brute force, like replicating, taking one formula and expanding it to a number of cells. Okay, so Excel is quite a workhorse for us in that respect. Well, it can do other things too, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. It can manage data, okay? So I have a list here. We're going to create a company with a whole bunch of employees, let's say about 50 employees. I just made up a bunch of names or stole them from musical literature. And this is our roster, okay? Let's say it's in order of how we hired the people. I list their city, state. I gave them a pay grade 1 through 5. The higher the pay grade, the greater their responsibility. And therefore, you would expect the higher their pay. I listed their gross pay and whether they have a professional certification or not, like being a certified public accountant, for example, like our own Professor Paula Kelly. There's a lot of other information, but that's enough for starters. Okay, so that's a whole random list. Now, we like to be nice and neat in business. So, right away, the first thing I want to do is I would like to place all of my employees' names in alphabetical order from A to Z. Okay. Easy enough. I am going to left click and hold on the first name in my list, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end. Okay, if you recognize any of these names, let me know, and I'll let you know if you have the trivia correct. Okay, I've highlighted the whole column. Now watch this. I'm going to come way up to the upper right, and by the way, data has its own tab. See it right there in the top called data in the green area. But there's also a nice little button here on the home page, the home tab, okay? Way up in the upper right called sort and filter. See that A and Z and that little funnel right there, okay? You might not be able to see my cursor based on the system you're using, but I'm making it flash a little bit for you right now. I'm going to left click on sort and filter. It says sort A to Z, Z to A, and you've got some custom features as well. So we're going to keep it simple for now. This is about the basics. And I'm going to click on sort A to Z. Now, okay, Excel has an issue with me. Excel is saying, Alan, are you really sure that you want to just put the last names in alphabetical order and leave all the other information up here behind? Or do you want to expand your selection because you might have just made a simple mistake, Alan? We, Excel, think that you want to drag everything along by putting the last names in order as well. Okay, so right now, just to illustrate, I'm going to click on continue with the current selection. Ignore everything, just put the last names in alphabetical order. I click on sort. All right, the first names, the cities, the states, nothing moved except the last name. Okay, Now I'm going to click on undo, that little backwards arrow up here in the upper left, undo custom sort, because I want to undo what I just did. Okay, remember, whenever you want to save a copy so you can go back and play with it, do so, but make sure you give it a slightly different name, okay? And that way you can always backtrack, all right? My friend Ted Burke introduced me to the fact that those are called breadcrumbs in data management. You can always backtrack, like Hansel and Gretel, tracking breadcrumbs that they left in back of them as they walked through the forest so they wouldn't get lost. Okay, now this time, let's do the same thing. You'll notice my range in B22 to B72 is still highlighted. I click on Sort and Filter again, left click. I click on Sort A to Z. There's the same problem with Excel. This time I'm going to let it expand the selection. That means I'm saying to Excel, oh, I should have highlighted everything. But yes, please go ahead and drag everything with my last name sort. Okay? Again, this is all under the heading of database management. I'm going to click on sort, and everything changes. From Ms. Ruth Archibald, all right, Mr. Gary Dedekian moved down here, all the way to Alexander Waverly at the very end of my list, okay? All the data came with it. Okay. All right, feel free to turn me off at any time here and experiment with this. There will be an upcoming assignment, of course. I'm going to click on undo to take one step backwards. Okay. All right, that's how you sort. Now, if you would like a shortcut, instead of highlighting, I'm just going to click on last name. That's it, the column heading. Okay, because Excel is pretty smart. So let's see what happens this time. Sort filter, sort A to Z, and look at that. It started using the first column as my reference point. It expanded and dragged everything along with it in just a couple of clicks. Doesn't that make your life easier? Okay. All right, turn this off and practice with that a little bit. Let's see how I'm doing on time here. Oh, I'm in good shape. Okay, next, what do we do? I'm going to undo this and click out of it. And what shall we do next? Okay, now, we said that we wanted to sort on last name, and we wanted to sort just that. Well, what if you want more than that? What if you want to do a multiple sortation? Can you do it with Excel? Of course you can. Excel, we're just scratching the surface of what this program can do for you. And in a later lecture series, we're going to get into some database management that is really flexible and sophisticated. Okay, for now, we're going to keep it just with simple sortations. But now this time, the boss says to me, I would like to sort by state, and then I would like to sort alphabetically by last name. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm just going to click on and highlight everything here. Okay. All right, now let's go play with it. I'm going to click on Sort and Filter. Now this time I'm going to skip the first two options, sort A to Z or Z to A. I'm going to go to the third one that says Custom Sort. Click on it, left click, and see what happens. All right, you've got a little window here. Now what is that window asking? It's saying add levels to sort by. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to sort first by state. I want to get everybody from, well, these are all people from nearby states because this is my company, so I'm hiring people from adjacent areas, right? So I've got a few Connecticut people in here. That alphabetically is going to be the state that comes first. Then comes Mass, then New Hampshire, and then Rhode Island. I only used 4 states. All right, so I'm going to start by state. So I click in this blue area where it says column, and it already knows my column headings. So I'm going to scroll down to where it says state, and I'm going to left click it. Okay, now see, it says sort by state, okay? And I'm going to do it based on A to Z. You can sort based on other things. I won't get into that quite yet. That'll come later. All right, so let's keep our lives simple by now. You can sort on things like color and characters, okay? But we're going to stick with the values that are in the cell, the state name in this case. But I then, once I have everybody from Rhode Island, everybody from Massachusetts, all in the same place, as a second step, I want Excel to list everybody then, alphabetically, by last name, A to Z. Or I could do it Z to A if I want. Okay? So, how do I get that second value in here? I come down here where that little plus minus is, that allows me to add a sort command or take one away. So I'm going to click on the plus, add another sort, a level. Left click. See, it says sort by state, then by, in the blue. Now I'm going to left click in there and say last name. So in Excelese, if I may, I'm saying, Mr. or Ms. Excel, take this list that I've highlighted, sort it first of all by state. Once you've done so, then do a secondary sort by last name. Okay, let's see what happens. Take a deep breath. Here's our leap of faith. I come down to OK. I left click it. Bam, there it is. Okay, you'll notice that within the state, all the Connecticut's have come first, and all the Connecticut people have been placed in order from Reginald Dwight, which by the way is Elton John's real name if you're curious, all the way down to Ruby Shapiro. Okay, they were all in alphabetical order. Then Excel says, okay, that's everybody from Connecticut. Now what about the folks from Massachusetts? They come next. From Mr. Leopold Bloom, who's a character from James Joyce's Ulysses, all the way down alphabetically to Rene Valois. Okay? We do it again for New Hampshire. Sorry. And then again for Rhode Island. And now you can do whatever you want with that data. You could have done a third sortation by pay grade if you so chose. Okay? So, what I'll do is I will back out of this and leave us with the spreadsheet we originally started with. Okay? And that is simple sortation. Now, if you wish, you can come over here. Now I'm on the Home tab right now at the top left. I can click on Insert. There are other commands there that we'll get to in due time. But if you come all the way out to Data and click on it, okay, you'll notice that you've got Sort and Filter commands here as well. Okay? So using the Data page allows you to do a lot more with database management, as we have just done. Okay, so I've given you the simplest functions of database management. We will play more with those later. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Home tab. I'm going to make sure I save this page for you. And that is the end of video lecture 5B. Please practice with this. Be watching very soon for more lectures, obviously, but I think before then I will be posting here for you proficiency test number 3. Okay? Thanks very much. I wish you the very best of luck in your class startups this week. I'm typing this on Sunday, so in 2 days I look forward to seeing many of you in my classes. And by the way, this series of lectures and passing your proficiency tests and working toward a badge will be required in my classes. Okay, so I look forward to expanding on this with you and also to receiving any questions you might have. Take care and have yourself a wonderful day and a great week.